Do you have to still pay for the surgery if your kid dies during it? Yes, you still pay for the procedure. You giving consent for surgeries, and the bill that comes with it also means you've acknowledged the risks that come with it. Not if you live in a country that doesn't charge for surgery. A friend's husband died during a routine surgery. The paperwork said date of release instead of date of death, which was so weird to me. They sent her bills for months for his surgery until she had the hospital wipe the debt. She was a psalm when he died, had never worked, and was struggling to just live after 10 years like that. God, the worst feeling I've ever felt was when my kitty, who I loved like a child, died at the vet after every attempt to save him. We still had to pay $800 and went home with an empty cat carrier. I cannot imagine having that happen with a human child. Ida. Our vet gave us a 20% discount and let us hold him while we wailed in one of the 2 patient rooms. They did everything they could over 2 days to save him and sent us a condolences card. There's an unspoken rule at our children's hospital that if your kid dies, they don't make you pay the bill. Then they give you years of free group grief therapy. Of course you do. There's no guarantee. I believe I remember reading one time of a couple getting divorced so the other wouldn't be stuck with medical bills after they die. I could be wrong about this though. Yeah, but you can sue for malpractice if you think it's applicable, or even if it's not, you just might lose the lawsuit. That this is a question is absurd. Why can't our government provide healthcare like every other developed nation? I'm sorry, but your counter question is making me laugh. Sorry, honey, I need to get my wisdom teeth out. It's time to call up the divorce lawyers again. In this world, what level of risk would the surgery need to entail for it to be divorce-worthy? What if your spouse relies on you for health insurance? Do you marry again if they live? If they die, are you their widower or are you just their ex-spouse? Is there some clause that allows the recently divorced couple to still make important medical decisions for each other? Can the ex-spouse even visit their sick partner in hospital, considering they no longer have family visiting rights? Sorry, I'm just too British to understand this question. Assuming you are in the US, if a patient who is a minor dies, their parents would be responsible for the bills. However, if the child is 18 or over, their own estate would usually be responsible for the bills. So any assets they had at the time of their death may have to go toward paying their hospital bill. If there is not enough, their spouse, if they have one, may be responsible for the bills, but not always. Other family members wouldn't usually be responsible for a patient's bills if the patient dies. So for example, if your parents die, you would not have to pay their hospital bills. Sometimes if a person is expecting to have large hospital bills, they will divorce their spouse so that the spouse doesn't have to pay for them. However, a divorce can take a year or longer to go through, so in most cases that wouldn't really help. The rare cases where divorce might help is if one spouse has a long-term disease that will require a lot of medical care over many years, but they are not expected to die soon. Sometimes people do legally divorce in that scenario. In reality, you need to insure your kid, and it sucks to even think about, but it's not a payout for your kid dying, it's to cover scenarios like this. It's not expensive, as odds are in favor of you not needing it, but it still happens enough to warrant buying it. You don't have to pay for surgery in civilized countries. Depends on how you define have to pay. They'll try and get you to pay, but they aren't going to break your knees over it if you don't. You don't gotta pay either way. What are they gonna do, put the tumor back in? Yes, duh. Yep. Yes, you still have to pay. Depends on where you live. If you're in a civilized country. No, if you're in the US, absolutely.